long before banks, stock exchanges, or central banks existed. One civilization discovered a truth that would shape power for centuries. Control the gold, and you control the world around you. In the ancient Near East, gold was not just jewelry or decoration. It was the ultimate store of value, durable, rare, and universally desired. Kingdoms fought wars for it. Rulers measured prestige by it. Diplomacy often revolved around it, and for more than 1,000 years, one kingdom possessed an advantage few others could rival. Ancient Egypt did not merely trade gold, it produced it. Egypt controlled some of the richest gold deposits in the ancient world. Its rulers built a system that extracted, managed, and distributed gold with remarkable organization. While other civilizations struggled with limited supplies, Egyptian pharaohs commanded a steady flow of gold from mines deep in the deserts beyond the Nile. That flow of gold quietly became one of the foundations of Egyptian power, because in the ancient world, controlling gold meant controlling something close to the ultimate financial asset. Welcome to the Financial Historian, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. To understand Egypt's power, we need to start with geography. The Nile Valley itself was not rich in precious metals. It produced abundant grain, but gold came from beyond its borders. To the south lay Nubia, a region stretching across modern southern Egypt and northern Sudan. To the east lay the harsh eastern desert, a rugged land of stone valleys and extreme heat between the Nile and the Red Sea. These regions contained something extremely valuable: gold-bearing quartz veins hidden deep in the rock. The Egyptians knew about these deposits very early. In fact, their word for gold, Nub, likely gave Nubia its name. For the pharaohs, Nubia became synonymous with wealth. But finding gold was only the beginning. Extracting it was incredibly difficult. The mines were far from water and fertile land. The heat was brutal. The terrain was unforgiving, and yet, Egyptian rulers organized large-scale mining operations in these remote areas for centuries. This was not small-scale mining. It was a state-controlled operation. Workers were gathered from across the kingdom, marched into the desert, and supervised by officials and soldiers. Water had to be transported. Supplies had to be managed. Entire temporary settlements were built just to support mining. These were not random efforts. They were organized economic systems. Behind Egypt's gold wealth was a harsh reality. The labor force included skilled workers, conscripted citizens, and prisoners of war. For many, the mines were not an opportunity. They were a punishment. Workers spent long hours breaking rock in extreme conditions. They crushed stone using heavy tools, then ground it into fine powder. This powder was washed repeatedly so that heavier gold particles could separate from dust. It was slow, exhausting, and relentless work. Ancient accounts describe the suffering in disturbing detail. Men, women, and even children forced to labor until their bodies gave out. The desert mines were not kind places, but they were productive. Gold-bearing rock was extracted, crushed, refined, and transported back to the Nile Valley. And once it reached the Nile, the state took full control. Egypt did not use gold like modern money. There were no coins for most of its history. Instead, wealth was measured by weight, using units like the deben. Gold functioned less like currency and more like a state-controlled reserve asset. Pharaohs stored massive amounts in royal treasuries and temples. From there, gold was distributed strategically to reward loyal officials, to fund construction, to support armies, to influence foreign kingdoms. And this is where things get powerful. Across the ancient Near East, gold was rare. But Egypt had plenty. This made Egyptian gold one of the most valuable diplomatic tools in the world. The famous Amarna letters, ancient diplomatic records, reveal something fascinating. Foreign kings constantly asked Egypt for gold. One ruler even claimed, "Gold in Egypt is as plentiful as dust." Whether true or not, the perception mattered. Gold became a tool of influence. It could secure alliances, maintain peace, buy loyalty. Egypt wasn't just rich. It was the financial center of its world. But even powerful systems have limits. Egypt's gold economy depended on one thing: control. Control over mines, control over labor, control over trade routes. When that control weakened, everything changed. If Egypt lost access to Nubia, if mining slowed, if routes were disrupted, the flow of gold stopped. And with it, influence declined, military power weakened, construction slowed. This reveals a deeper truth that still applies today. When a civilization builds power on a resource, that resource becomes both its strength and its weakness. We've seen this pattern again and again. Gold in ancient times, oil in the 20th century, rare earth minerals today. The resource changes. The principle does not. Ancient Egypt didn't have banks or stock markets, but it understood something fundamental. Wealth is not just about owning an asset. It's about controlling it. Controlling where it comes from, who gets it, and how it's used. For more than 1,000 years, gold gave Egypt power, influence, and dominance. But more importantly, it showed the world a truth that still shapes modern finance. Control the resource, and you control the system.